The Toxic Avenger is out online, directed by Macon Blair, starring Peter Dinklage, Jacob Tremblay, Taylor Page, Luisa Guerreiro, Kevin Bacon, and Elijah Wood. It's a reimagining of a Trona Entertainment classic from 1984, which I will talk about a little bit later. The story takes place in a small town being ruined by a large industrial company dumping its toxic waste into the environment. A janitor, played by Peter Dinklage, ends up being thrown into that toxic waste, where his DNA merges with the vile substances and transforms him into an ugly, super strong, super durable vigilante. So, in order to understand what this movie really is, we have to go back in time and explain what Trauma Entertainment is. And it's apparently the longest running independent film studio in the world. Started in 1974 and exists to this day. It's produced and distributed over 1,000 movies in that time. Primarily B movies, low budget, low quality schlock with shock violence, nudity, terrible acting, and good-natured fun. The most well-known of those movies remains The Toxic Avenger from 1984, which gained cult following and spawned multiple sequels, a comic book series, and so on. Then there was talk about a reboot starting around 2010. Various people attached. At one point, Arnold Schwarzenegger was rumored to star. Eventually, with many delays and changes, the movie in its current form was completed in 2023, but after hitting the festival circuit, it had trouble finding a distributor. Eventually, it was released theatrically in the US this year, and now it's available on VOD. So, it's not a good movie in a traditional sense, but it is very good at what it's doing. And what it's doing is being a deliberately campy, schlocky, violent, over-the-top B-movie, perfect for a night out with your friends and watching it whilst enjoying a couple of beers. It's got an intentionally badly written script and dialogue, cartoonish characters. There really isn't anything ambitious about the film. It's meant to be stupid fun. But at the same time, it does have a surprisingly good amount of practical special effects. I mean, maybe it's the effect of so much bad CGI nowadays that you learn to appreciate the practical stuff even more. But the point is, I really liked the makeup and prosthetics and the blood and the gore and transformations. I do want to touch on how they made the Toxic Avenger, the character. So apparently, Peter Dinklage recorded all his lines lines of dialogue in a room, not just the voice, but also the camera sort of tracking his movements and so on. Then Luisa Guerreiro studied that performance, learned all those lines with their sort of inflection and physicality and cadence and so on. And then she was put in the suit of makeup as Toxie and played the character physically. And finally, Dinklage re-recorded the voiceover again to make it fit even better. The result is surprisingly great. I honestly never would have guessed that it wasn't him in the suit, and credit to the entire filmmaking team for pulling this off. And finally, the performances. Traditionally, in B movies, you expect terrible actors delivering their lines in terrible ways. It's kind of the point. But in this, they actually hired a bunch of competent people. I mean, Dinklage, Tremblay, Bacon, and Wood are all proper Hollywood stars. And these guys are not phoning it in either. They are treating the material with a remarkable amount of sincerity and care. And they're actually properly solid in their roles. I mean, it is clear everyone is having loads of fun and doing this film just for the fuck of it, especially Elijah Wood. They're enjoying themselves and doing a good job of it. So all in all, I like this film. I think there is a lot to like, in fact. But again, provided you know exactly what you're getting into. It's a particular kind of movie for a particular kind of taste. It won't win any awards or become a proper classic, but at what it's doing, it's pretty solid.